So I'm at my desk today. Very different type of video because I'm actually reacting to a new set that's coming out in mainland China. You guessed it, the infamous or famous Gem Pack Vol.2, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, this is a little different. I'm not used to looking at my computer, so bear with me if I'm not looking straight at you. I don't usually do this. Whenever I do my openings, as you guys know, I'm always just going at the top of my head. You know, I've played Pokemon for so many years, there's a lot of memory here. So I'm just going to be referring to this because I have a lot of opinions, both good and criticism, you know, towards this set. I know a lot of you are excited, and I know a lot of you are also going to ask if I have this available. Pre-orders are now open. It took a while. I am sorry. This is a very hyped set in China, you have to understand. But anyway, getting straight into Gem Pack Vol.2. So as you can see, the front cover, we have lovely Sylveon chilling. Yes, we're going to have that lovely pink fusion box, most likely, just judging by the borders. Volume 1 obviously had Sprigatito, highlighted a lot of the Pokemon Horizons characters, which I personally liked a lot. I was surprised that Volume 2 actually went straight to the evolutions, like no chill, full on just threw all straight up just threw all 8 evolutions plus Eevee straight at us. Like, I didn't even expect that. Has nothing to do with Pokemon Horizons, except I guess if you want to count Penny, then yes, because she's the trainer featured at the end, similar to how Nimona was featured in Volume 1. So we're going to go straight and take a look at this. So interestingly enough, from the get-go, yeah, so I kind of compressed the card list so you can kind of see a chunk of it straight on the screen. Starting with Eevee. Already from the get-go, I'm seeing cards from Sword and Shield era. It's very interesting to see that from the get-go because we're already in Scarlet and Violet era, which is what Volume 1 sort of emphasized with the Paldean starters and also Cap from Horizons. But I'm seeing V cards, VMAX cards, and of course the 4 exclusive art rares for Simplified Chinese. We have Eevee. I'll get back into that because I do have something to say about that. I do like the fact that they brought back these stamped holo cards. I have to say those are my favorite things about the Gem Pack series, because at least we can see that there are actually 2 stamp promo variations of each evolution this time, and Eevee. It's not really an evolution if it's itself. So from the get-go here, if we look at Eevee right here, the first type is from Evolving Skies, and I believe the second one by Cao Cao is from Astral Radiance. It's interesting too because when you move on to Vaporeon, you see actually a variation from Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield era. I believe the Sword and Shield one is from Vivid Voltage, and the first one looks like it's a promo. I think, actually no, it was a Sword and Shield. Oh my gosh, it's been so long, guys. I know there's some artwork here that is from Sun and Moon era, so just bear with me. But the point is that we have previous era cards with Scarlet and Violet era holo foil, if you want to count the reverse holo foil as one. So it's just interesting to me because if you especially skip down to Sylveon, I'll get back to the previous cards, we see Fairy type and Psychic type. So if you guys don't remember, from Sun and Moon era, we did actually have Fairy type cards, starting with Fairy Rise, a lot of people's favorite set, but we did not have Fairy type in Sword and Shield era, and we definitely do not have it in Scarlet and Violet. So that's interesting how you look at it, that we have the return of Sun and Moon cards plus Sword and Shield cards in this set. And not just that too, we also have the return of V and VMAX, signature of the Gigantamax or Dynamax Pokemon from Sword and Shield era. This is just bringing back 9 Colors Gathering / Evolving Skies vibes. Unfortunately, they do not have stamps. That would have been a cool addition in my opinion, and I believe these are replacing the shiny cards that we saw from Volume 1, which I thought was a nice touch, but obviously we did not have shiny evolutions. We did have shiny Eevee in Sword and Shield and also Sun and Moon era. That would have been a nice addition in my opinion. One small criticism, but they're trying to keep it as consistent, I guess, with all the evolutions except for the exclusive 4. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this is your first time seeing it, I did put them in one little category down here, the 4 evolution art rares. We only have Leafeon, Sylveon, Umbreon, and Eevee, all by Hyokonosuke. Great artist, by the way. I do like how a lot of the time when they make certain artwork, sometimes they even put it as one big artwork and then they chop it up into several different artworks. I think there was one with 9. Magikarp was one of them, and then there's a whole bunch more. But this is another example. I would not say that the artwork really connects this time around. It looks like the artwork is more catered towards their type, which is interesting. I feel like Leafeon is the most suitable evolution for this type of background because it is taking place in a forest, and then we have Sylveon just frolicking in the fields. Umbreon, this is the one that kind of contrasts the most with the theme. Also, although at least they tried putting it near a dark forest to kind of match it. And then Eevee just looks like it's in natural habitat, just living life blissfully. I'm just a little sad because, you know, I'm an Espeon fan, and, you know, if you guys don't know that already, they did not have an Espeon exclusive artwork, so a little upset about that. And Vaporeon is also my second favorite, so I don't really understand why they didn't just give all 8 evolutions the special artwork. Obviously Eevee's the mascot, you know, the main character, so they'll put that in. I do find it interesting, speaking of Eevee, that they brought back the Eevee VMAX as well. It actually originally released in this little guy, this little pendant collection box. I do have these on my web store, by the way. It came along with Pikachu V, Eevee V. There's also Pikachu VMAX that you could possibly pull. It's actually considered the chase. A little bit harder to pull than the V cards, but if you couldn't pull it from that, you can pull it from this Gem Pack series Volume 2. So that's a nice little chance. That's also another thing I was going to say. If you also look through, again, we're going to go through the evolution. So yeah, we have a lot of the Sword and Shield era cards. So Vaporeon, Jolteon, I'd say these were from Sword and Shield era for sure. I'd say Vivid Voltage. The Jolteon by Yu Nishida looks like it was from the Battle Styles blister. It was a hollow foil card promo. But in Japanese, a lot of these actually came as gym promos, except for the Vivid Voltage or Astonishing Voltackle cards. And then same thing with Flareon here, the one by Yu Iribi. I believe that was also it was a Darkness Ablaze blister promo, interestingly enough, but this other Flareon was also a Vivid Voltage or Astonishing Voltackle, the Japanese equivalent. And yes, of course, the V and VMAXs. So yeah, if you don't remember too, if you're just joining in Pokemon for the first time too, the VMAX cards, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, oh, I forgot to put Flareon there, I'll fix that, and also Espeon. Those came in like an Eevee Hero special set, and they had like a little pack where you could pull the VMAX and I think just the VMAX. It's been a long time, but definitely the VMAX. But then Umbreon, Leafeon, Glaceon, and Sylveon V and VMAX, or specifically the VMAXs, I apologize, you can only get from Eevee Hero, so they had to split that up. They couldn't simply just put all 8 VMAXs into one set. Eevee VMAX was also a gym promo in Japan. It was a whole separate thing. And then in English, I completely forgot how that released. I think it was also a promo. There's a lot of, you know, things to remember for this sort of release. But again, it's just interesting. I feel like it would have definitely been cream of the crop if this at least had the exclusive artwork for all 8 evolutions. But again, I do love, at least, I have to say, to go back on the stamp promos, I do like how the pink complements a lot of the artwork here. So if you look at the Glaceon with the flower, I think that's really cute, especially also the Leafeon's actually more prominent. The pink flower just catches the attention so much with that pink stamp promo. I don't think that was planned. Of course, this came later. Those promos, actually they were originally promos, gym promos in Japan, and then I believe Cosmic Holofoil promos in English, I believe blister promos. So this was definitely far ahead. But I think, again, that was a nice coincidence, most likely. And even with Umbreon, the eyes matched the stamp promo. So if you're a stamp promo collector, this is definitely something you want to open. Obviously, in the set, they're not really promos. It's just whenever you see stamps, they usually tend to be promos. So this is Pokemon China's way of kind of breaking that convention. Not just that, we also have Master Ball. So if you really want to be comprehensive with your evolution collections, you definitely want to open this set, get all the different holo variants. I did forget to mention in Volume 1, there's a holofoil that really ticks me off. This little one looks like where there's like little fan patterns going on. I feel like that holofoil is not very presentable. That's the kind of holofoil you tend to see on fake cards from China, whether it's like English language cards or even like, I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Other like kind of franchises also have that kind of weird holofoil. We're trying to break the stereotype of fake Chinese cards, and this is not helping, in my opinion. I do like the star foil, and I do like, of course, the Pokeball and Master Ball and energy foils. Those are very cool. And I do recall that there's an energy collector amongst one of you, or amongst you guys. We do have different energies this time around too, which is nice. So we have electric, psychic, and dark, plus the variations with the stamped. And I have to say, from opening a few boxes myself, both on camera and off camera, The energies are actually quite hard to pull, so if you ever land a stamped energy card, definitely keep that, especially if you're an energy collector. This holo foil is very unique. In the past, we've definitely seen this type of holo foil, I'd say, in like maybe reverse holos on high class packs, but maybe just with a different foil. Because the texture, the way it feels, reminds me a lot of the Shiny Star V, the oily kind of holo foil with like the little drip. It's just, it doesn't have that circular pattern, it has of course just a glossy pattern. But that's why I feel like this card would be, you know, it's a very collectible card in my opinion. And of course we have the Pokeball stamp promos. Here is Lovely Penny. This is the artwork we saw from Shiny Treasure EX or Paldean Fates. We have Umbreon there. But yeah, overall, it's just another set where we just have a ton of holo variations with only maybe like 9 different Pokemon. Unless you want to count the Pokeballs as a species. Technically there would be 10. Although this card list, I believe, says there's like 13 or 15. There's more than that. But it's just because that there's other things like energies and Pokeballs, but really it's just the evolutions plus EV. You know, if you like these smaller sets and you find these more fun to open, that's cool. I just find it funny how a lot of people just got into Simplified Chinese Pokemon cards and just open 151 and Gem Pack and then just dip. Like, they don't acknowledge Eternal Birth, they don't acknowledge Miracle Journey. It's just funny because those are really the main sets in Scarlet and Violet era in mainland China right now. Those are the main like core series, but people just want to look at the side quests for now. That's okay, that's what they know, that's what they're familiar with. Hey, I'm not one to judge, but I just find that interesting. I'm just saying. But Pokemon China definitely know how to keep us interested by throwing these theme sets at us. We have the Horizons theme set from Gem Pack Vol.1, now we have Evolutions in Gem Pack Vol.2. I kind of hope, honestly, that they continue the Horizons inclusion maybe in future volumes. I want to see one with like the Shining Rayquaza from Horizons, as you guys, they showed in the beginning as well. I just wonder what trainer they would put with it. Maybe Lucius, if you guys keep up with the anime. Even a Cerulege full art would look really cool with Ametheo. Like, I think that would be awesome if we had a continuation of the Pokemon Horizons characters in the Gem Pack series, because that was a very strong start. I loved the exclusive art rares from Volume 1. The Volume 2 art rares, honestly, they don't hit me too much. They're not the most spectacular Evolutions art I've ever seen, I'll be honest. My favorite, again, has to be the Leafeon, but I think they could hit harder. I think this feels like a filler set of the Gem Pack Volume series. Maybe they need more time to prepare the next one. I don't know, but it's to keep us happy. It's to keep the Evolution collectors excited enough to collect Simplified Chinese. I don't know. People of China, there's a lot of them, also expect this set to be very hyped there too, not just in America, not just in the West, not just, I don't know, Japanese people also find these cards interesting too. So the whole world has their eyes locked on the Gem Pack series. So if you find that these cards are a bit harder to find this time around, just remember it's Evolutions. Everyone loves them, everyone knows them. It's just basic, you know, everyone knows who they are. It's Gen 1 plus the other generations later on. Technically Gen 1, 2, 6, no, 4 and 6. So yeah, it's just spread throughout. So whether you're an old Pokemon fan or a later Pokemon fan, you know something from this series. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. And I will definitely have an opening video on my channel. I just figured I'd make a separate video kind of expressing my thoughts about it, because it'll be hard to kind of spew all this information onto you guys while actually opening the cards too. But you know, when we actually see the holo foil too, maybe I'll like it a bit more. Sometimes that happens. I'll tend to like sets better when I can actually see it more in person. Maybe if something surprises me. But as far as I see here, I'm just like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I think overall still a mid kind of release. It could have been better. But if you're an Evolution collector and you just want to have all the different holo foils, then go ahead, have fun, open the set to Oblivion. I will say though, Pokemon China printed Volume 1 to straight Oblivion. Like, there were so many boxes available and the price has always been reasonable. I even still have Gem Pack Volume 1 boxes available as well. So I hopefully anticipate Pokemon China to do the same for Volume 2. Maybe because of the hype, it might, you know, go faster. Hopefully Pokemon China can keep up with it. Remember, Pokemon Japan is printing this set, so there's also a chance that it could also just run out and they might not be available. It's hard to predict. We're living in a very unprecedented time with a new type of Pokemon set, and we'll see what happens. I'll try my best to restock. Again, pre-orders are open on my web store, KrystalKollectz.com. If it is sold out, I will try my best to restock. If I can't, please understand, it's just super hyped. There's a lot of people who want this, and it is what it is. If Pokemon China want to reprint this to Oblivion, then just wait. It'll most likely come later on, and we can all have our fun opening this up. But thank you guys so much for listening to me babble about this release, and I'll see you guys in the opening video. Take care.